All right, guys, here we are. Pro tip for you about handlebars and handlebar setup and handlebar width and handlebar height. I'm about 5'7". When I'm riding my snowmobile, I like my handlebars to be between my pubic bone and my belly button. Nowhere higher than my belly button and nowhere lower than my pubic bone. The reason why is with a little slight bend in my knees, you can see that my arms have a little bend in the elbow, and this is my optimal point of the most strength that I have in my shoulders and my arms to be able to steer my snowmobile. If my handlebars were any higher, for say, up here, you see all of a sudden my arms become a little bit more bent, and therefore I lose all my strength in my shoulders. If they're too low, say down here, see how I'm bent over? My back is gonna start hurting, my shoulders are gonna start hurting, and so somewhere in between where your arms are almost straight, but with a little bend in the elbows, is where you have the most strength to steer those handlebars. My girlfriend Elise just pulled a wheelie. It's pretty sick. I'm gonna show you guys. Check it out, straight up and down. Where is she? Oh, there she is. All right, so with Polaris, the steering column is straight up and down, and so the angle of where your handlebars meets the steering column should be nice and straight. With Skidoo riders, you got to be careful because the steering column comes in on an angle, and so you don't want too much of a kink where your handlebars meet that steering column. You want it to be pretty much straight, because if you hit something hard and there's a kink in that connection, you have more of a chance to taco your handlebars. And so keeping that angle is pretty detrimental, just for, safety purposes, but it's all personal preference with handlebar setup. So if you like it that way, you like it that way. And so as far as angle goes out of the steering column for those two brands, that's pretty much it. Now, as far as handlebar width goes, I personally like to run a 28.5-inch width. It's, again, personal preference. You'll figure out what fits best for you. But shorter the girls, the less wide you want. But you also have to be careful to not take off too much where you can't fit all your clusters back on, your brake, your throttle, your kill switch. I mean, your kill switch you can hide in the risers, whatever. But you got to make sure you can fit all your clusters back on, especially if your bars have a bend in them. You got to make sure that they all fit. So I usually say don't go any less wide than 28 inches, because then you're safe to at least fit everything back on. And so yeah, that's what I gotta say about handlebar setup.